Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is News and Week in Review, where we're going to go through a variety of news pieces, our videos of the week, the games covered, our creator spotlight, all of that and more, links and timestamps to everything down below. Starting off with our news, we have a few news pieces, not a lot to go over, but all game related over here. We have Trickerion. Trickerion has a 10-year anniversary edition coming out shortly on Kickstarter. I say shortly, I don't know exactly, April 22nd. April 22nd is shortly. If you want to check out Trickerion, which makes me realize I've played Trickerion. I should probably play more Trickerion so I can actually review it. I've only played it once, and I didn't want to film a review after one play. I should probably play it more so I can actually have coverage for you before that April 22nd, because that seems timely. Anyways, moving on from there, we have Frosthaven Digital. Frosthaven is getting a digital follow-up to, well, Frosthaven and Gloomhaven. Depends on, it's an expansion to Gloomhaven Digital, or it's an expansion to Frosthaven. It's kind of approaching it from two different skill lines, as it were. See how I made that referential humor there? Anyways, Frosthaven. Frosthaven is coming to a digital port, coming to you from the creators of XCOM. They are bringing Frosthaven. I said XCOM, Frosthaven turned into Frostcom there. But Frosthaven is getting a digital follow-up. You can play it later this month in the beta if you want to sign up for that. I don't know if it's completely open beta, but feel free to check that out. But in case you've been anxiously awaiting this digital port, which makes sense for many of you out there, it is now finally coming. Moving on over here, we have Quacks. Quacks is coming to you with a new reprint from CMYK. Previously, Northstar Publishing held the license to this. I believe they sold it to CMYK, and they are bringing you a digital version. Not a digital version. I am mixing up my words in this entire video. They are bringing you a reprint of Quacks of Quedlinburg. It is now being rebranded as Quacks. It is also getting a new art style, a very claymation style art that if you go to the BGG thread, has been very, very controversial as far as the reception of this art. Don't get me wrong, I fall in the camp of I don't like the art style at all. I like the old art style much better. I'm not against the old art style being changed. To me, this feels like it doesn't fit the game, but there's having an opinion around the art, and then there's having opinions around the art, and there's a BGG thread about this that has opinions around the art. So always try to be respectful whenever you're critiquing someone's creation in any way, in any format. If you're critiquing something that there's a human being behind, which there usually is, try to be respectful about how you approach it. To me, this art style is not for me. That's the end of my opinion. I don't feel the need to get into more into that. I would say that I wouldn't not play the game. I prefer the original art style, and I'm happy I own the original copy of Quacks, at least for now. Future expansions, of course, might change that. Well, that's basically Quacks. They're going to have 3 versions, a standard, deluxe, and all-in edition. You can go ahead and check out which one might be right for you as far as the different options, the different art styles, and of course what's included. They do have Bakelite pieces as an optional component in one of them. I believe in the deluxe and the all-in, you have Bakelite pieces, which is a popular upgrade for Quacks of Quedlinburg, herefore after known as Quacks, at least in this version. And that is what we have over there. And that's basically all we have for our news of the week. Three pieces of game-related news, and with that, we're going to move directly into our Creator Spotlight. For our Creator Spotlight, we'll be talking about Ivy Studios. Ivy Studios is a company that I've been aware of for a very long time, and friends with since, I want to say, the Veiled Fate campaign. This is not a sponsored segment, by the way. They do have an active crowdfunding campaign. It is not a sponsored segment. It is definitely motivated by the fact that they're more front of mind because of their current campaign, and I will note that I am friends with most of the people at Ivy Studios. But that said, Ivy Studios, in general, the whole team there are great. They're great in person, and they're also great in terms of the way they interact and engage with their audience. They started off as well, I don't even know fully. I wouldn't be able to say this properly, but some form of digital advertising, media marketing, something along those lines. They migrated over into the board game space, and then eventually that became their source, their core structure of what they're doing. There's a while where it's Ivy Studios and Ivy Games, and then that just became Ivy Studios again, once there was really only one main focus, which is, again, their game productions. They started with Moonmakers, which was incredibly popular, and then they continued with Veiled Fate, and they've continued on and on. My personal favorite is still Mythic Mischief, although I do love Brink as well. But all their games have fantastic production quality, and in general, they're very well received. They have a passionate audience, both in terms of their Discord, in terms of their people who buy their games. In general, they have done a great job communicating everything about their products. Their I guess history in advertising or marketing shows, because they've done a good job being able to put out products that look like premium products and then being able to showcase those over on the YouTube channel. They have an incredibly active YouTube channel where they post a lot of content around a lot of different things. I highly recommend checking it out. Honestly, my biggest complaint about Ivy Studios is the fact that they they at times have had these series of videos that I think are great series. They had a Crokinole Conversation series. They used to, Austin used to do a crowdfunding coverage of various games approaching it from the Creator Spotlight. I think they've had some fantastic series that they have not been consistent with, and I would love to see them back because they were great. They were great series. They still have active content on a regular basis, but I do like the series that they used to have. They had another one. What was the other series they used to have? Oh no, I managed to scroll in the wrong direction. No. They had another series a while ago where they used to go over active crowdfunding as well. They kind of brought back a version of what they used to have with Austin. I'm all over the place as far as my clicking, so I don't know what's going on here. But anyways, the point is, they put out good games, they communicate with the community, they have an active Discord, they are friendly people to engage with on a personal level as well as a professional level, and if they aren't already on your radar, they certainly should be. And with that, we're going to go ahead and close this off and go to our next section, which is the videos of the week. The videos this past week, we've had several. We had a ranking of Chip Theory games. Oh, I should do a ranking of Ivy Studios games. Do they have enough yet? They have enough-ish, I guess. I do a video series where I rank creators' games. I probably should do one for Ivy Studios. I do need to play their newest one. They have the Pillars of Fate game, which I believe I'm scheduled to do a TTS play next week, so maybe I'll film that at some point. But before we get to that, or maybe I'll wait till the next one later this year. I might wait. I will do a ranking of Ivy games at some point. But going back to the videos this week, on Sunday we had a ranking of Chip Theory games. Chip Theory, I went over all their games. They have put out a large amount of games that I absolutely adore. They're all overwhelming to a large degree, except for 20 Strong, which I think is more accessible and gets bonus points because of that. But in general, if you want to see my ranking of Chip Theory's games, that was Sunday's video. And as usual, feel free to request other creators that you want to see their games ranked. On Monday, we had Two Back or Not to Back, going through a variety of crowdfunding campaigns. On Wednesday, I had games I most want to play. This is the final series, the final video in a series of 3 videos of games I'm trying to table this year. It's currently March, and I think I've done 5 or 6 of the games I wanted to play. I've learned the rules for a few others, so I am making good progress, but I know from past history that the end of the year sneaks up on you before you're ready for it, and so if I'm not very, very diligent about this, I will have the 5 or 6 done now, and suddenly it'll be September, and I will only have done half the list. Now, my goal is to do 30 of the 35. I'm specifically giving myself some grace that I don't have to get it all done, but that's the last video in that series if you want to check that out. Then from there, we had, on Friday, we had Where Are They Now? Looking back on March last year, as well as March 5 years ago, and talking about the games that I played for the first time in those months, and then how they held up over time. As far as the games I covered this past week, there's been a bunch. There's been Star Explorer, I covered on last Saturday. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really like Star Explorer. It's one of those guilty pleasure games where I don't know if it's as good as the rating I gave. A 4 out of 5 is a good rating, a pretty strong rating. It's a strong recommendation, but I think that for a lot of people, you might bounce off in it. It's definitely on the lighter side, but there's something charming about the game. I did not expect to like it as much as I did, and I like it as much as I do. And then there's Scales of Fate. I did a review for Scales of Fate last Saturday. Scales of Fate is good. It's a good game. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It's kind of like Veiled Fate for me in the sense that I enjoy it when I play it, but it's not one of Ivy games that I seek out necessarily. I have fun playing it. Every time I've played Scales of Fate, it's a good game. I just don't think that that's my target genre of game. You can check out the video for the full thoughts. For me, it's more about the concept of strategic deduction is a mechanic that I both like and don't like at the same time, and that's a core concept, a core mechanic in both Veiled Fate as well as Scales of Fate. Then on Tuesday I had a review going up for Onward. This is the new version of Skytier from Skytier Games. Onward is fantastic. It feels like a strong improvement on Skytier, taking enough core concepts that'll be familiar, while definitely rebranding a little bit outwards and being a bit more straightforward as far as how the game operates. Definitely recommend checking it out. It feels a bit more true MOBA, and still a lot of fun, and tons of hero variety. Definitely recommend Skytier. Definitely recommend Onward if you like Skytier, or if you like any of the MOBA games. Later on Tuesday, we had a preview for Darren's Outpost. I didn't have a chance to play this one myself, so I can't comment on it, but Meg did a preview of Darren's Outpost, currently on crowdfunding, sponsored preview. And then later on Tuesday, we had a review for the Morrison Game Factory. This coming to you from, oh my gosh, Post Curious, who have done fantastic games. I always recommend their stuff. It's always been good. I've always enjoyed their games. They're great games, great production, great puzzles. Highly recommend them. Morrison Game Factory, I believe I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I think Meg gave it a 5 out of 5 if I'm not mistaken. Then on Thursday, we had a Play This Not That for Cascadia Harmonies. Oh, going back to the videos of the week that I forgot about, we had the live show on Thursday was a conversation about PlayStation games because I got a PlayStation 5 and I want your recommendations. I've had a PlayStation 4 since who knows how long, and I've been holding off upgrading for a long time. I finally did so, so I did a whole video. My live stream was about PlayStation games. The reason I thought of this now is because that was Thursday. Going back to Thursday we had a Play This Not That for Cascadia versus Harmonies. I hope to do more Play This Not That videos this past year. I definitely trailed off of doing them a lot in 2024. I'm pretty sure I did some in 2024, but not nearly as much as I'd like. I'd love to get at least 6 Play This Not That videos done this year. I actually already have my next one mentally lined up, but not actually ready to go. But I like the series. It's a comparison between games that are similar yet different, and then giving my own recommendations, thoughts, and opinions about the contrast and similarities and differences and preferences one over the other. I love the series. I find that it's very hard to fit it in with everything else I'm doing, but I want to bring it back. That, and I would say 12 by 12 reviews, as well as Play This Not That. If I can do 6 of each of those this year, that would be so amazing for me personally. I like mixing up my review formats a little bit, and I can't always do so, but those are both great opportunities to do so in different ways. And I already have at least 2 picked out for 12 by 12 reviews as well. So now I just need to actually go ahead and continue playing more games. Anyways, that was Thursday's first video, and then later on Thursday we covered Ready, Set, Bet. Oh, I didn't really give you the breakdown. Cascadia vs. Harmonies, I prefer Cascadia. They are both great games with both different strengths. Neither one is going anywhere, but I definitely prefer Cascadia over Harmonies for a variety of small but meaningful differences. Then Ready, Set, Bet was their later review on Thursday. I think Ready, Set, Bet is fantastic. It is a very unique experience. It's almost more, similarly to The Mind, it's almost more of an experience than a game, but it's a great experience and one that I recommend checking out if you are able to do so. Definitely recommend Ready, Set, Bet. It's unique, it's different, and it's worth playing, although the components are not great. And that's basically the games we covered, which brings us to, Oh, 2 more things. Over on member videos on Ko-Fi and Patreon, if you're a member over there, I did a solo play for Hutan, if you want to check that out. Dove into a solo puzzle of it, if you want to see how the solo scenario is played. As well as usual, on Monday, I had my Unfair and Unbalanced video. That is a companion series to 2 Back or Not to Back, where I try to convince you not to back every single game that we covered in 2 Back or Not to Back. And with that, we go to today's videos. Today's videos, we have a Zoo On preview or gameplay. I have to remember which one it is, but either preview or gameplay for Zoo On, an upcoming crowdfunding campaign. And then also we have Rise of Mythos. Rise of Mythos, a review for Rise of Mythos. This is a prototype review for a roguelike deck builder that will be launching next week over on GameFound. And then later this week, we'll have a bunch of things going up. We will have on Sunday a coffee chat around Strong Opinions Don't Change Minds. I like videos like this. It's been a while since my last coffee chat, although I will say I filmed a coffee chat 2 days ago, but you can expect to see that in 6 months to a year. Coffee chat videos are a series where I kind of have a conversational topic that may or may not be related to board games, usually is not. I do so while drinking coffee, and then I specifically post them 6 months to a year later. I don't know why I need that delay. I just like the idea of videos that I filmed a while ago going up later in general. Sometimes it happens naturally, other times it's very intentional. Anyways, that is as far as Sunday's video. And then later this week, we'll have 10 games that were worth the hassle. This is a video about 10 games that I think they're a lot to get into, but they are worth getting into. I will have a follow-up video as well of 10 games that weren't worth the hassle, but that'll probably be like 3-4 weeks from now instead. Anyways, that is everything, which brings us to the games on the couch. For the games I hope to be playing this week or weekend or whatever, we have a bunch over here. We have AI Apocalypse. This is an auto battler that I want to table. I need to read the rules in this. I started the rules, did not finish it. It has solo mode and competitive. I don't know which one I'm going to play first, but I want to dive in, finish the rules, and get prepped to play. We have Alhambra, the Smallbacks Family Edition. I want to give this a shot, see how it's different from its big brother, and if it's a game that, well, whether I want to table it or not relative to the original. I also have Red Palace that I still haven't reviewed as well. We have Lying Pirates from Nordic Pirates. This is kind of a little bit like Liar's Dice meets other stuff going on. I hope to be playing it this weekend. We'll see if I am able to or not. I have the expansion as well. And then lastly, we have SETI, which I was hoping to play a few weeks ago. I learned the rules. I'm ready to go, but I would love to play this. And this, by the way, this is one, I believe this is one of the 35 games that I am trying to table this year, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check. It might have been Kutna Horrors on the list and SETI wasn't, or maybe both were. Either way, I definitely want to play it. Whether or not I do is a different story. So I hope to be tabling this as soon as possible because I'm prepped on the rules and ready to go. Anyways, and until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have an excellent weekend. And as always, I hope you have a good one.